Three, three, two, one, record. Testing, testing. Okay. Hi guys. Sorry. I did try to record this before, and then I was stupid, and then I was like, oh, why is the audio so bad? It's like, oh, because the microphone anyway. So I have, just in case, I have it also recording on the recorder app here, and I can see it, and it's working. Okay, so okay. Sorry. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done a talking video, but yeah. Sorry. Also, if you're new, I'm not a very like well put together. I don't really edit my videos in like an organized way, or like have like a path line. I don't know. I just kind of sit here and talk. But anyways, so today's topic is if you want to write a song or make music, but you feel like you can't, or like you've never been able to. I know a lot of you here already do music, so this probably isn't for you. But if you want to just be here, God, I'm so awkward. But yeah, I know a lot of you guys already do music because, like, I'm the one who asks for help when I post my song drafts, or like my like final work of songs. They're never really final because I don't. That was loud. Should I turn this down? They're never really final because I don't release my music anymore because I realized that I'm still working on becoming good in terms of like producing and stuff. So, and honestly, if I'm not happy with my work yet, why release it? I'd rather wait until I have a whole set of songs that I'm happy with. And that's why I am here asking for feedback and stuff. Okay, I'm just gonna start the video now because I think it's time. So let's see, I wrote down what I wanted to talk about. Okay, so I know it can be very discouraging to hear people say things like, oh, so and so artist wrote this only when they were 11, and it's a very famous song, and or this other artist wrote the song in 30 minutes when they were 16. You know, things like that make you think, oh wow, it must be something that you need an innate talent for, right? You know, like someone like someone like me, I could never do that, you know, because all these people did it so young. And that's just what it appears to be sometimes. So that's like the normal thing to think, I feel like, for most people. But yeah, that's how I used to feel, especially as a kid. I mean, forever, honestly, until I turned like 20. But I used to be like, wow, I could never write a song or make music or anything. And I feel like anything I make would be trash. And I was like, stay in your lane, Callisto, because you can sing and you can play piano a little bit, but you can't really do much else. You're not very special, blah 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 blah. So yeah, and that is how I felt until I kind of was at a point in my life where I kind of hit rock bottom, like emotionally. Like, I was at a point where I was realizing that all the things that I had wanted in life and the things that I thought were supposed to make you fulfilled, you know, actually weren't making me fulfilled. I don't know why, but when I was, I'm gonna blame it on the movies, but just kidding. But yeah. So I think I got my first real working experience like in a real office, right? Over a summer, and I thought it was gonna be amazing. I was like, this is where I'm supposed to be, working in a cubicle in an office like everyone, right? I was like, this is gonna be amazing, and I'm gonna have work friends, and everyone's gonna be great. The office is gonna be a great place to be. Yeah, I don't know why I thought that. I think maybe I just like when I was younger, I saw movies and like people were always, I don't know, shows and movies, like people were having fun in the office and stuff, and we did have our own fun, but it was like a coping mechanism for our depression in the office. Um, but yeah, and like people aren't nice in the office all the time. They're not like your friends. Well, I mean, it depends. Um, yeah, they're not your friends, and it's not a fun place to be. And the work is not fulfilling. It is, even like you go to school and you like, go to school for something and you think it's going to be all this, and but then it actually turns out that it's like actually something else. And there's not really much you can do about it because that's just how it works. And that's fine. Like, I'm okay with that. Like, if you pay me to I can't talk about it. If you, you know, um, but yeah, I was just having a lot of, depressed, like, thoughts and stuff. And I was just really, derealized, I guess, because it's like when you have all these notions about like what life is supposed to be once you do this and this and this and get to here and here, and then you find out that it is like it was all just fake, um and just portrayed that way and not actually the way it is, and then you realize that you are like extremely unfulfilled and stuff doing that. It's like very weird to deal with because you just like wake up and then you're like, I don't care if I live or die. But I mean, but like that's everyone. um yeah, so that's when I was like, you know what, I do want to try making music and writing music, because before, I think if you followed me before, um I don't know, there were not many people here when I first started my channel. I actually started my channel like I think 2021, because I was really lonely and depressed from COVID and stuff, and or just like, I mean, I kind of, it's weird because I enjoyed being inside and not going to social events. Like I was really really glad that, um wow, this was a really really long time ago, and I think about it, it was like 5 years ago. Oh my gosh. But I think I was a senior in high school 5 years ago, so our prom was canceled, and I was actually very happy about that because I just didn't want to go. And it got canceled, and I was so happy. And then our graduation got canceled. I was like, oh, thank God. But anyways, but I mean, there were downsides, like staying inside. I was just kind of getting depressed. Where was I going with that? Genuinely, I don't know. Oh yeah, that's when I started my channel. And I didn't post music. I posted little like silent vlogs of like my day where I didn't talk, and I just put captions on. um, I think I had like 5 subscribers, and then yeah, but then later I started posting covers and music because that's what I really love doing. I really love singing. And I felt like I had never really had like an opportunity to sing or grow in that way in my youth, like So I thought that maybe starting a YouTube channel would be a good way to express myself that way, without any barriers to entry, you know, like auditions and stuff. Um, but yeah, so then in addition to covers, I started wanting to write my own stuff and try to write songs, right? And this is someone who I had never thought I would be able to do that before, because I just thought that I genuinely thought like someone like me cannot, like I don't have the ability, like I'm just not able to do that. And you know what? My first songs that I did write were absolute trash. They were really bad. They were awful, and I crumpled them up and threw them in the garbage. They were pretty bad. But yeah. I think I tried writing about like I think I tried writing love songs, but I didn't really have any strong feelings, well, super strong feelings about you know, and also it was my first songs I was writing, so I felt so awkward trying to write down the words because I'm not an emotional person. Like, I don't talk about my feelings and stuff. I don't, you know, and so when I was, and I've never written poetry before, this, you know, so I wasn't used to that stuff. So when I was putting it down on paper, I was like, oh my god, what am I doing? Like, this feels so wrong. Like, it feels wrong. This feels like disgusting. Like, I'm putting my emotions down. It's like, I know I don't want people to hear this. Like, they don't need to hear this. And that was also like probably something that was holding me back. But yeah. So then you know, I did give up on writing songs for a while. Oh shoot, I messed up the timeline. Wait, no. I wrote my first song before I got super depressed about life. That was when I was, you know, really bad at it, and I was like, yes, like, oh, this is like, I'm putting my emotions down, like, I don't have any strong feelings this way or the other, and I'm just like, it feels so weird to be putting down my emotions. Then I like stopped songwriting because I was like, you know what, Callisto, you are not able to do this. Like, you can't, like, obviously. And then I got depressed over the summer when I worked a real office job, not just part-time work. And then that's when I started to really try to write songs. Sorry, I messed up the timeline. So that's when I started to really write songs because I was basically like, I have nothing else. I have nothing like in life, you know. I mean, that's not true, obviously. I know I have like my family and friends, but I meant like my dreams were like, oh, they were poof, didn't have any anymore. I was like, oh. And I was like, you know what, I have nothing anymore, like nothing left to lose. And now I do have things I want to write about because I'm so depressed about everything. And then I did start writing songs again. What the fuck is that? Sorry. I did start writing songs. Where was I going with that? Yeah, so I wanted to put my emotions somewhere, and I wanted to be able to make other people feel things, like how when I listen to music, like it makes me feel things, and I feel like that's such a cool thing to be able to do, like make someone feel a certain way, you know, when they're listening to a certain song. Because like when I listen to certain songs, I feel like I can only feel that way when I'm listening to that song. And I was like, I kind of want to be able to do that to other people, like, you know, to other people. But yeah, instead of just doing covers, because I was like, doing covers is fun. Like, I do love singing covers and stuff. Oh, this was the first cover I ever did on this channel. If you want to check it out. But yeah, that's a good memory I have. But I wanted to be able to make my own stuff, because I felt like, yeah, I'm able to like sing and cover other songs, but I want to be able to leave some sort of impact of my own, you know? I want to push myself, because all this time I had stayed like in my shell, like I'm like, oh, Callisto, I'm not able to do this because you're like, I'm not good at it, blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh, you don't have any resource, you don't know anyone who does music, you know. But I was like, I'm going to try. And so then I was more successful in writing better songs now that, number one, I had real things to write about, because I was having a lot of feelings about, life. Who doesn't? And then two, yeah, I no longer felt embarrassed or whatever, because I had nothing left to lose at that point. So I think those two things were important for me to be able to start writing songs as someone who felt like they could never be able to do it before. What these baby hairs doing up here? Anyways. So yeah. I also think it's so interesting, like, how music can also like make you think of certain imagery, and see, sometimes I feel like you can even smell things, like you see a certain imagery and like, I don't know, for certain songs, and I felt also like I this time had real imagery I wanted to show other people through music, through the sounds I was putting together, or like evoke certain emotions and senses. So that's also another thing. So yeah, to recap, for me, the things that helped me actually start writing songs for real were, one, like, you need to have something you really, really do feel strongly about. Number two, like, don't be embarrassed and stuff. And number three, I guess have an idea of like what sort of imagery and emotions you want to evoke in the listener. And number four, don't give up, because it's like, even if you know, it's still gonna be frustrating, because my first songs, I just didn't understand how the process worked. So it honestly was more like journaling for a little bit. And it was like a jumble of clumsy words. And I was having trouble rhyming. I was like having trouble making structure. I was like, and sometimes it was too wordy, and I was like, this isn't like elegant, blah blah blah. It's like I'm just like typing out my feelings, and that's not really lyrics. It's just writing how I feel. So but yeah, you'll figure it out. You just have to fumble through it if you're first starting like me, and sew it, like cut it up and sew it together, and eventually I think you'll have like a song. You can also just maybe look up online specific structures for songs, and if like you have trouble, picking your own structure, you can just pick one of those and just try to follow it exactly. Which I don't know about following things exactly, because sometimes I feel like that restricts your creativity at first, but if that works, then that works. So yeah. And I feel like I'm gonna say writing songs and melodies for it are kind of like riding a bike, because when you're starting, you start on a tricycle, and then you take off the tricycle wheels, and like your parent is like, yeah, they have to hold the seat up for you, right? And then you have to pedal, but they also like are like keeping you upright so that you don't fall down. And then it sucks because like you never feel like you're going to be able to do it without them, because it's like as soon as they let go, like you can keep going for a couple seconds, maybe a minute, but then you fall down. And it's like very frustrating, I know. And you feel like, when am I going to be able to do this, but then one day, maybe it takes years or weeks or months, weeks or years or months, sorry, that bothered me that I said it in the wrong order. It just clicks, and they let go of your seat and you are going, and it's great. And you can't stop. So yeah, sometimes I feel like for me that's kind of how it was. I was like fumbling and struggling. I was like, why am I not able to write a good song? Why can't I figure out how this tune goes? Why can't I figure out chords for this? Why can't I make anything interesting that doesn't sound monotonous? But then one day I think it kind of clicked. And then I think you will find that the melodies might just come to you in the shower or something, or like before you go to bed, or when you're just in the kitchen or something cooking. And it might also be easier to write the words too. So yeah, I'm so sorry, this computer keeps breathing and it's gonna make this sound fuzzy, but yeah, this computer's really old. But anyways, I say anyways a lot, don't I? I should stop that. And I say Alright, I'm gonna stop saying and anyways. What was I saying? Yeah, the only thing is I will say is, if that does happen to you, like a tune just comes to you, you kind of like figure it out, and once you do figure it out in like a couple of seconds, you want to take out something like your phone or your computer and just hum that tune on your device real quickly, just so you don't lose it. Because for me, I will lose it immediately. It'll come to me, but then, and I'll be like, oh, that was such a good melody, I felt like, but then if I don't record it, it's gone. Like, I'm not gonna, like, it's just, and I don't know why that happens. I don't know why tunes can just come to you, because that has never happened to me before in my life. But I think it's because of the thing, like, you just keep doing it, and then one day something clicks and maybe something comes to you, and then more things will come to you, and you'll be like, okay, I feel like I have something to work off of. And then the words might come to you too, or you can just write them down and try to fit them to the tune that you have in your head. And they don't have to be perfect words. They can just be like 4 lines. That's all you really need. Maybe just 3. As long as you have that, you have something to jump off of and work from. And it might be annoying still to figure out the rest, because that's only one part you have figured out. But still, it's good. Like, you will be able to, I feel like, write something good. Let's see what's next. Just said again. But I feel like is that everything? I mean, obviously, if you have trouble like rhyming and stuff or finding different words for things, yeah, when I'm songwriting, I just have my Google Doc open, but also thesaurus and rhyme zone because, yeah, I need that personally. So, um, yeah. So it always feels silly to me when people say, "Oh, this and so is such a genius for rhyming this with this or writing this lyric," you know, because how do I say it? Like, I used to think this too. I used to be like, wow, so and so is such a genius for writing this, right? And but then I found that I was able to, rhyme things, like, okay, that sounds like I'm bragging. Like, what I mean is, like, you can definitely write something like this other person did, okay? Like, you can do it too. And it's like people are always saying, like, oh, so and so is a genius for this. And I'm like, stop. No, like, it's not like they're the only person who would be able to write this, right? Like, I feel like other people, a lot of people can do it as well. Um, so yeah, I mean, humans have been making art and music and stuff for forever. Like, it's like a human thing. So to say like that you can't do it because blah 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 is like, no, you can. It's just that I feel like we a lot of us grew up, feeling like we can't because, I don't know, maybe you feel like maybe you're not like the typical type of person who does that sort of stuff, or maybe you're like, oh, I'm on the track to do this and this and this and this, I don't, do music or blah blah blah, or like you feel like also, oh, all these like idols and musicians who are like put up on, this pedestal, you're like, you like compare yourself to them and you're like, I could never make something like them, I mean, I feel like that's a lot, most people, and that's why we feel like we can't, or whatever, something like that's keeping you from, you know, expressing yourself in song or music or whatever. Not that you have to. If you don't want to, you don't want to. Like, that's okay. I didn't want to either when I was like younger. I was like, no, 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 no. That's emotional. I'm not emotional. I don't do that. but but yeah. So, I mean, I believe in you. So if you just also believe in yourself a little bit, and I believe in you, you can do it. It's gonna be annoying. Sometimes it's just a pain in the butt. But if you really want to try, you can. Like, yeah, maybe your first stuff won't be good. Mine was trash. Some of my stuff still is trash. Okay, that's why I'm here trying to. I always ask people for criticism and like help and stuff, because I'm obviously like not. I did not go to school for music. I did not grow up in the sort of musically creative sense that artists and like songwriters do. You know what I mean? So yeah. Yeah, but once you're able to start making songs and, creating your own melodies for things, You will find out something terrible if you do choose to start, and it's that writing the song and the melody was the easiest part, and producing it is the actual hard part that does take a lot of learning, a lot of learning, a lot of hours and hours and hours of like time and frustration and like depression. um it is not an easy thing. um yeah, if you already know me and you're just listening to this for fun, you know how much I struggle with it and how much everyone struggles with it. It's especially if you're just starting from like with no background in it. um yeah, it sucks, but and it takes time and effort to learn. And I don't know, for some people it does come easy because like I watch videos to learn, and it's like, wow, this guy's just like, yeah, you just do this and this and this and this and this and that's how you have an R&B beat. And I'm like, how'd you know that? And it's like, and then I go do it, I'm like, he's right, like this sounds like R&B, but it's like, how'd you know that? Yeah. I sound stupid, but yeah, I really don't know about these things, so that's why I have to watch a lot of YouTube videos. And yeah, I guess that's the whole video. Oh, I was able to cut this down to like 30 minutes. That's good, because the other one I filmed was like an hour, and I also cried in it. Because it came down to me, like, I think I was like also like saying another piece of advice was like, oh, to find people who support you, stuff, blah blah blah, find a support system, blah blah. But I was getting really emotional because you guys mean like a lot to me, and I was getting emotional, and because I was kind of like comparing that to like myself, like saying like, oh, yeah, you get it, I'm not gonna cry again, okay. maybe maybe in a future video I might, but I'm gonna try not to. So yeah, yeah, I guess that's everything. I'm gonna think and try to see if there's anything else I wanted to say. No, I haven't found a job yet. Yeah, I wake up every morning to like email rejections. I mean, that's everyone in the economic job market right now. It's very hard. But yeah, haven't found anything yet, but I'm still applying. I will be applying. I'm hoping in April, mid-April, more positions will be posted and like people will actually be hiring, because sometimes I think companies just make requisitions for maybe certain people and it's already filled, or like they're no longer active positions but they still have them up on their site. So yeah, I've given up on trying to stay in New Jersey. Like, I can't be picky. I've been applying to like Florida, Massachusetts, Texas, like Carolina. Not there's two Carolinas, Pennsylvania, like wherever, like, you know, except California. I haven't gone to California because I'm afraid of like living somewhere and it catches fire. I don't know why. Look, guys, California is always on fire, I feel like. That's true, right? And I just don't. It's also really, really expensive to live there unless you have like a relative or a family member, or you were born there, you know, born and raised in Cali. It's different. But yeah, I know a lot of people who moved there last year for work. And they get paid so much, but the thing is, their cost of living is so much, it ends up being the same. But you get the experience of living there. I know a lot of people love living there. But anyways, yeah, no job yet, but I'm working on it. Finishing my classes, and I handed in all my paperwork for my master's, so that should be done. And yeah, I'm still working on music. I haven't been able to paint or draw, do art stuff, real art stuff for a while, like painting, because music takes up so much of my time. It's no excuse, but if I really wanted to, I would. But yeah, I am working on a draft of a new song. It's very different than what I usually do, and I hope you guys will like it. I don't think you will. I will be honest, I don't think you're gonna like it. I don't think you will. But please don't leave me. Like, I just want to try something new because I don't want to be one of those, you know, those artists that are kind of like, a slice of white bread. Like, that's their music, and that's fine. I love eating white bread. It is great. It is delicious. I love putting some, toast and then butter or jam, cinnamon toast. It's good. It's good. But the only thing with that is that I feel like I don't want all my stuff to sound the same. I want to challenge myself to try to I want to force myself out of my comfort zone and be more dynamic, because I don't want to be I want to I can be white bread, but I also maybe I can be a sandwich, you know, or grilled cheese or pizza, you know? Like, I can try other things, and I think it's good to try other things because I just don't want to get stuck with myself doing the same types of songs over and over, or doing like, or boxing myself into a certain genre, you know? So yeah, I am working on that. I was able to get it to a pretty okay draft pretty fast, so I think I'm getting faster with BandLab stuff. God, I keep saying but I did watch a YouTube video for this, so maybe that's why it was faster. Yeah. And then I know I asked for feedback on my other song that I had just done before. I'll put it up here if you want to listen. But thank you for the feedback. There are things I'm still not happy with it. I think it was at a good point for me to like post it and show you guys like most my work so far, like what I had, almost basically final work, and get feedback on it. And so thank you for that. I always keep it in mind for when I revisit it. I write it down and keep it in mind, because I do want to at some point revisit all my songs with criticism in mind and work on it. So yeah. Okay, I will see you guys in the next one. I'm gonna get to editing this, and have a great day. I don't know. Enjoy the weather if you have good weather. I don't really have good weather right now, but I think later in April it'll be nicer. So I always hate saying like goodbye on a video. It's like I don't want to hang up. Okay, I'm tired of looking at my face, so